Live from Las Vegas, let's give a warm welcome to Jake Esposito!
Thank you. You're too kind, really. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening wherever you are, and welcome to the Jake Escape, the only show on air that helps make your despair wash away. As always, I'm your host, Jake Esposito. We've got a great show for you tonight, folks. Tonight, we're going to be discussing a topic that I know everyone here has experienced at least once in their life. Think about a time recently you made a purchase. No matter what that purchase was. Perhaps a new car, a fancy new coat, or even something as simple as a pack of gum. You spend all this time researching information about the purchase, evaluating alternatives, and at the end of the process, you ultimately decide to make that purchase. Afterwards, you start to feel a bit uneasy. Should I really have made that purchase? That money probably could have been better used somewhere else. These may be some of the thoughts going through your head. Well, this, my friends, is the concept we refer to as buyer's remorse. Tonight, I'm going to be bringing on a few experts to help explain more about this concept. Please give a warm welcome to our first guest of the day, Shayna!
Hi Jake, I'm happy to be here.
I heard you're pretty knowledgeable on cognitive dissonance theory. Why don't you enlighten me on that?
I'd love to. Cognitive dissonance theory is when you have inconsistent thoughts and attitudes towards people, places, or things. A common example of cognitive dissonance theory is smoking cigarettes. If a person smokes cigarettes, is aware that cigarettes are unhealthy, but continues to smoke anyways, they're in a state of cognitive dissonance. In order to solve this state, they must either change their belief or their action. In the case of smoking cigarettes, they either need to quit smoking or change their belief that smoking cigarettes is unhealthy.
So, what exactly causes cognitive dissonance?
Well, there are three main causes of cognitive dissonance. There is forced compliance behavior, decision-making, and effort. Forced compliance behavior may be something people deal with every day. For example, if you have a professor in school that grades attendance and you really need those attendance points, you have to show up for class even though you don't want to. This causes cognitive dissonance because even though we feel we really don't want to do something, we do it anyways, and there's dissonance between our cognition and our behavior. Decision-making can also cause cognitive dissonance. If there is a purse we really want, but we know we can't afford it, that is causing cognitive dissonance. The cognitive part being, we know that we can't afford it, but our behavior is us buying it anyways. The last cause of cognitive dissonance is effort. Say you study really hard for an exam, and then you go and completely fail it. This causes a huge amount of dissonance because even though you work so hard to accomplish something, there is nothing accomplished in the end.
So then, how can someone reduce cognitive dissonance?
Well, to reduce cognitive dissonance, it's not as easy as you might think. It would require someone to change their beliefs, add new beliefs, or reduce the importance of their beliefs.
So then, would you say cognitive dissonance is common?
Of course, everyone experiences this to some degree. Take buyer's remorse, for example, having feelings of regret after you made a purchase.
I know that feeling. Well, even though I may have cognitive dissonance and you do too, we still gotta keep moving forward because there is no escape from the Jake Escape. Alright, please give it up for our next guest, Bree! Excuse me, folks, sorry. What do you mean you let her escape? I literally just told them that no one can escape from the Jake Escape. You're turning me into a liar in front of my audience. What? Oh, you can do that? Okay, well, yeah, I guess that works. Alright, cool. Just do that. Alright, cool, thanks. Well, sorry about that, folks. Apparently, we do not actually have our next guest here in the studio, but we do have the next best thing. The power of technology. Please welcome our next digitized guest, Bree. Thanks for being here, Bree. So, can you tell me about some of the different aspects of regret?
The two types of buyer's remorse are outcome regret and process regret. Outcome regret is the regret you experience from your purchase outcome. Consumers can experience this when they get the feeling that this product isn't what I needed.
Now, can you give me a bit more about outcome regret?
The two reasons why consumers might feel outcome regret is because they feel regret due to foregone alternatives and regret due to change in significance. Regret due to foregone alternative refers to when a consumer has the option between two alternatives and they regret buying the one that they did because the other option had the better outcome. Regret due to change in significance refers to when a purchase is unable to meet a consumer's expectations.
Now, what about process regret?
The other component of buyer's remorse is process regret. Process regret is when the consumer blames themselves for a faulty purchase process. Consumers experience this when they wish they would have put more effort into making the purchase decision, or when they wish they would have put less effort to obtain the end result.
Thank you, Bree, for imparting that knowledge onto us. Well, you've heard from some of the experts, but now, how about we hear from some real consumers out there? Let's throw it over to Gavin on the street.
My name is Gavin. Feel like we're going to be interviewing some people at UNLV about buyer's remorse. Excuse me, sir. I have a very important question to ask you.
What?
Have you ever purchased something and regretted it?
Yeah, of course.
Like what?
I got a jersey off of eBay. It was about $120, and when I got it, it was fake. It was extremely low quality, and immediately I regretted buying it. And with eBay, there was like his return policy just didn't work out. So I was get out.
I see. That's very unfortunate. Thank you. Have a great day. Excuse me, sir. Do you have some time to answer a question about buyer's remorse?
Sure.
Have you ever purchased a product that you realized you didn't need?
Yes, I have not one but two things of AirPods, and the worst part about it is I have a Samsung.
That's very unfortunate to hear, my friend. Stay strong.
Thank you.
So what did I learn? I learned that buyer's remorse is closely tied to expectations, whether it's sent by the seller or the one purchasing the product. It's important to keep those expectations in check, or else you end up with buyer's remorse.
Thank you, Gavin. What a guy. Never get tired of hearing him speak. Now, let's hear about some ways that marketers can help reduce buyer's remorse in consumers. Please join me in welcoming our next guest, Allison. Thanks for being here, Allison. So, can you tell me a bit about how people's expectations form?
Yeah, so the world is full of decisions that people make every day. For example, I decided to come on this show.
Really? I didn't realize the showrunners gave you a choice.
Moving on, before you even decide to buy something, you must first recognize the problem. We describe this as your actual state versus your ideal state, or where you are now versus where you want to be. For example,
Well, Martha, that new nose looks fantastic.
why thank you, Max. The smells have been life-changing. It's like a fifth sense.
Maybe I need a new nose. At this point, Max is experiencing a new ideal state. He wants a nose.
Well, fascinating. But again, that seems pretty obvious. He sees something, he wants it. What about a case where a consumer doesn't know that they want something?
Well, in that case, we would call that an inactive problem, where the consumer is not aware of it. For example,
So, how's that Roth IRA treating you?
you're so old.
Dorothy is currently questioning if she has hepatitis. Catherine is currently being attacked by a shark.
This is where marketers come in. Their job is to create a new ideal state, a new desire. Quackman wanted to get the shark off. Another technique marketers can use is encouraging dissatisfaction with your current state and giving you a solution to it. Dorothy could have gone her whole life not thinking about if she had hepatitis, but that ad made her stop and think.
How do those expectations and opinions form in a consumer's mind?
Well, I have an example for that.
No more puppets.
Alright, well, there are two main sources that the consumer can gain information from, marketing and non-marketing.
Well, what's the difference?
Marketing sources are official streams of information. Non-marketing sources are influences outside of the official marketing organization.
I see. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Allison. And next time, can you leave the puppets at home? Well, that's all we've got for you tonight, folks. We've had quite a time discussing the concept of buyer's remorse. Tonight, you've heard a bit about what buyer's remorse is, some of the different types of remorse a consumer can have. You've heard from real consumers and puppets. And you've heard it even straight from the expert's mouth. Thanks again for tuning into the Jake Escape. And as always, have a great one.